All right. All right. We're going to try this again. I have a question. Can you hear me? No. Why? Hello? All right. Well, apparently this thing doesn't want me to put it down. All right. Testing out a new microphone. What? Another country heard from in there making fun of me. Well, I have a question. Why does everything tech have to be so hard? And who decided to name that a dead cat? All right. Can everybody hear me? Hello, hello. All right. If you came here for a professional podcast, you're in the wrong place. All right. I think I'm funny when I know I'm not really. Don't give me any hate mail or thumbs down. It would hurt my feelings. All right. Welcome to Bella Vista English Mastiffs, where we talk about everything related to breeding mastiffs and all that goes along with that. I think that sometimes people decide to get into breeding dogs for all the wrong reasons. But Bella Vista English Mastiffs, where we talk about breeding dogs, all the things you should know. And sometimes we talk about the other loves of my life, furry loves of my life, horses. So if you are down with talking about dogs, the majestic English Mastiff, and the majestic horse, then you are in the right place. All right. So that's been my love of my life ever since I was about 2 years old is, horses and dogs. If there is anything that you would like me to discuss on this podcast, I know a little bit about everything. Not a lot of it, but a little bit about everything. My parents used to say, everybody got to know a little something about everything. I wrote notes. You know why? Because I ramble. I'm Italian. I talk too much. I talk with my hands. You should be able to understand me if the mic croaks. If you haven't already subscribed, please do that. Please hit the like button. Please hit the notification button because we are about to breed our girls again in May. And the puppy videos and the lives that I do to show puppies is going to be for members only. Now, why do I do that? I do that because people have stolen and downloaded my videos acting like they're their videos. I have actually had other breeders, won't mention any names, go on my Facebook page and take my pictures of my puppies and post them on their page like they're for sale and whatnot. So what we're talking about tonight is, make sure you hit the subscribe and like button and your notification button because anything puppy related, you have to remember the puppies in the litter that is coming up, they belong to people. So that's why we're going to do something a little different. So tonight we're talking about my absolute must-haves. What are some of the must-haves that I have? By the way, is my Dutton Ranch sign cool or what? This is one of my must-haves. This is a book that I think if you're going to get into breeding dogs or any small animal, you should have this. It's called Small Animal Endocrinology and Reproduction by Wiley Blackwell. It's put out by Wiley Blackwell. It's actually written by Deborah S. Greco and Autumn P. Davidson. Can you see that? Sorry about the ring light. So I have about every type of dog breeding book on the planet, and I have, I sometimes refer to them when I'm whelping a litter. But this right here is a game changer. It is a little bit pricey. I'm going to tell you, it retails for around $120. You maybe can find it used, but it has everything about everything in it. Diagnoses, dosages on things. Sometimes something can look like this, but it's really that. Small Animal Endocrinology and Reproduction is a must-have if you are a serious breeder. And it's small animal. Maybe they have a large animal one. I have tons of horse books, but tonight we're talking about small animal endocrinology and reproduction. Another author that I follow for many, many years is Myra Savant Harris. She's a registered nurse. She's a registered nurse turned dog breeder. I have about every book she ever written. This one is called Puppy Intensive Care, A Breeder's Guide to Care of Newborn Puppies. This is amazing because it has everything from gestation, what the gestational age. It has, puppy in utero heart rates, what it should be, the mom's pulse heart rate that you should know. It talks about whelping, what you will need for whelping. Canine reproduction and whelping. So Myra Savant Harris was a registered nurse turned dog breeder. And she has a Facebook page. I don't follow it because it has those typical group vibes. And sometimes people say things that they shouldn't say. And I surround myself with good. I don't surround myself with anybody negative. I don't want to hear nothing negative. I don't want to hear trash talking. I don't want to hear any drama on a Facebook page that I've come to for info. And one thing I can tell you about Myra Savant Harris is If you email her, she will always respond to your email. May not be right that second, but she will always respond to your email. And she has, formulas that you can do, how to make liver water and how you can make mother's milk replacer. And so lots and lots of good information in these two books. If you only get these two books, you are so further ahead. Canine reproduction and whelping and puppy intensive care. So these are the three books, like I said. Now, why did I want to do this video about the three things that you would want in your wheelhouse as a dog breeder or a small animal breeder? Because sometimes 2-3 times a week, people call me and ask me medical questions that they don't feel comfortable asking their vet, or they don't want to make an appointment with their vet to ask. And I tell you right up front, I am not a licensed vet. I've been in the field about 35 years, and I am not a licensed vet tech, but I've been in the field about 35 years, and I know a thing. Okay? I know the this and the that. Okay? So we learn by trial and error, and I don't care how long you've been breeding dogs, you can always learn something else. Also, even in the horse world, I've been riding since I was 2 years old, but I always do teaching clinics. I have my level 3. I am an actual certified, I might have let it drop. I had my level 2. I went to write my level 3. And the reason everybody asks me, why did I go get certified to give riding lessons? It's simple. It's pretty simple. I had when I was training horses full time, I also had 2 Italian restaurants running, Anthony's Fine Italian Cuisine and A Taste of Italy. I was giving riding lessons. I was doing pony parties, and Charlie Cook Insurance came to us and said, "Are you certified to give riding lessons and train horses?" And I was like, "No, who gets certified?" And my insurance company, because I had so many holdings, made a decision that if I did not get certified to be given riding lessons and training horses, that they were going to drop me. And at the time, all my rental properties, my restaurants, the house I got my mother, everything was tied into this insurance company, and I didn't want to get in trouble. So I went and I got certified. And so, it was an interesting thing, and I'm glad I did it because I carried a $3 million bond. I don't know if I've told anybody I am from the United States, but in 1993, I moved up to Prince Edward Island for 10 years. And that is where Charlie Cook Insurance is, and that's where I had my 2 restaurants and most of my rental properties. Why? Because my mother's people were from there. My father's people from Italy. My mother's people from Canada. So clearly I favored one side of the family. But yeah, I had to get certified because my insurance company said, it's a liability. Horses can be a liability. So now, I still have to carry insurance for my dogs and to make sure that, everything. So I just about a year ago let someone take my last 3 horses to give riding lessons on. And let me tell you about the horse world. So through a friend, she contacted me saying she had a really, really nice facility. She had heard that I was super, super busy with my dogs and that I didn't have, I wasn't really riding. Unfortunately, the winters are really long up here in Maine, and if you don't have an indoor arena, that kind of stinks. And so, I always said I was going to build one, but I wish I did. But anyway, so I let somebody take my 3 horses to give riding lessons on, and she was keeping in touch with me and everything was fine. I did not give up ownership of them. I can just tell you right up now, they are all still registered to me. Tip Bar Image is still registered to me. Tango, and Majesty. They're all registered to me. But she wanted to, make some money giving riding lessons on them. I thought she was really reputable. I met her from somebody that is in a high profile line of work. And so I let them transport my 3 horses down to her facility. And she kept asking me if she could transfer Tristan, my Tip Bar Image horse, into her name so she could show. And I said, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Never, never, never going to transfer his papers. Why would I do that? He's double registered, Palomino, also with NAQHA. And the horse placed 4th at the world as a 2-year-old. So I am never going to turn over his papers. He's got an impeccable pedigree. And he's my Western Pleasure, Western dressage horse. And I'm in the ribbons every time I ride him. I'm letting you take him. But I'm not giving up ownership, just so we're clear. And after that happened and she wanted his papers and I didn't hand them over, she removed them from her property and sold them. Now you ask yourself, how does that happen? Because they were registered to you. In the state of Maine, possession is 9/10 of the law. So, word to the wise, don't let anybody take anything from your property ever, ever, ever. And so I fought for the last 8 months to get them back and had to go through the state. And she has basically refused to tell anybody where my horses are located. So I'm going to move on from that. That's something that the state is looking at. She's going to get herself in a world of trouble because she doesn't legally own the 3 horses. But I am, I'm moving on, trying to do this here. But somebody asked me today a medical question, and I tell them the same thing I'm telling you right now. This book, Small Animal Endocrinology and Reproduction, is a must-have if you're breeding dogs or any small animal. And Myra Savant Harris's Canine Reproduction and Whelping and Puppy Intensive Care. You should have that in your wheelhouse. The 2 Myra Savant Harris books are really not terribly expensive, but the other one will retail about $120. You know what? Maybe you can find it secondhand on Facebook Marketplace or something. I know I wouldn't part with it because I paid the $120 plus shipping, so I wouldn't part with it, but maybe somebody else would, or maybe you can find it in a bookstore or something. This is the recent edition. So besides that, we're having lots of fun. May is rolling around. I'm getting a lot of calls from people all around the country, and a couple outside the country would like me to ship pups, one to France, and where the heck is the other one? Germany? Anyway, so I've talked to them and, I just told her, get back in touch with me again. I'm about to breed. And if you follow me on the Facebook page or you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll be able to tell when I'm about to breed and you can actually call me. So looks like we're getting a few people on the live. Maybe take a minute and tell me where you're viewing from. We're talking my must-haves in the whelping room. And so at some point I'm going to do a live. I'm going to show you the whelping room, the whelping box. I will show you the exam table, all my equipment, what I use for intervention, what I use when I'm whelping a litter. I will show you my progesterone machine. I will show you the incubator. I have a brand new incubator. It's the Aeolus 1803. Actually, Canine P4 asked me to rep that. So, fun fact, I did a educational video for Canine P4. It's C-A-N-I-N-E P4, not K. C-A-N-I-N-E P4. They paid me to do the video, the educational video for them, highlighting the Aeolus 1803 incubator, which I did. And then when I was purchasing the Aeolus 1803, no, I had purchased it and they credited me back. I think it was like $350 or something. So that was really nice. If you buy a lot of equipment from companies, a lot of times they will give you sometimes a few $100s. And so, it's a $3,000 incubator. So $350 goes a long way. Also, what else did I rep for them? Oh, my semen analysis microscope. So I have a semen analysis microscope. I'm a little bit of a science geek. I collect my males. No, it's not what you think, but I collect my males, and it's in a very medical setting. It's not, don't be dramatic about it. I've collected stallions and AI mares. I have collected stud dogs of every breed. So it's business, it's what I do, and I don't feel bad about it. I've had some people go, "Oh my God, I can't believe you do that." Calm down. It's a medical procedure. It's not a problem. So I collect my males. I then never use the semen until I put it under the semen analysis microscope. I have a couple of medical grade microscopes, but my semen analysis microscope has a screen about this big, so I can show you if anybody wants to see. And when I pull semen like that, when I collect semen like that, we are looking for viability, meaning live semen. Now, some people will tell you if you have 20% dead, that's okay, don't worry. I can tell you we never have 20% dead. There might be like 4 or 5 dead, but never 20%. All of our boys have excellent semen. I know that sounds a little graphic, but that's the truth. With the semen analysis microscope, I'm actually able to test white blood cell count, red blood cell count, urine. You can get yeast in urine and all kinds of things. And a dog's urine tells me, sounds gross, but tells me the quality of the dog. And the semen tells me the quality and the health of the dog. On top of all the, breeding, pre-breeding and post-breeding blood panels, when I analyze fecal matter or urine or blood, that's what I'm looking for, is anything that that would be a potential problem. So we partnered up with K9P4. This time around, they sponsored us on 2 free belly lab tests. And when I breed the girls in May, I'm going to go ahead and use those belly labs. I'm using their 2, and I will go live on YouTube. They'd asked me to do a live video on YouTube showing people how to use the Belly Lab canine pregnancy test. And we're happy to do that. So when you go to contract and you see us getting ready to breed, you'll see me draw blood on my females. I then take that and I add a buffer to it. And then I take 75 ULs with my little gun that I use. And then I use a few drops and I'm able to put it in a receptacle. And then I put it in my Onefo progesterone machine. And within 15 minutes, I have my dog's progesterone level. So those are fun facts. Also, what else will I tell you? So also this time around, we partnered up with Petkind out of British Columbia, Canada. For all those that are getting puppies from us this time around, they are very excited because the partnerships I have done, they send cool puppy take-home bags. So not only do I provide really cool take-home bags for all of my clients, you'll get to see, what Petkind out of British Columbia, Canada will add. So this time around, we're going to be adding water tumblers with your puppy's picture on it, or coffee cups with your puppy's picture on it. I actually have them in the room with Gage's picture. And so it's a fun thing. We love to really cater to all of our clients. We do nightly live feed videos. We believe that you want to be connected to your puppy right from the get-go. We encourage you to FaceTime your puppy and to call anytime about any questions. And so we try and stay local. So when we go to do the puppy take-home bag, we're using a family that lives in the next town over to do all of our water tumblers, which you can put soda or whatever in them. And I have them here. I actually bought a few for myself. and coffee cups. And they're a good coffee cup, a nice, deep, good sized coffee cup. And so for every family that's getting a puppy from us, we will do either 2 coffee cups or 2 water tumblers or a water tumbler and a coffee cup, whatever you tell us. And so last litters, I did extra large harnesses for each puppy that went home. Even though they wouldn't be using them for 2 years, I wanted to make sure that you'd have harnesses for when your pup turned a year or two. And sometimes they can be hard to find. So I bought a half a pallet of really good quality harnesses, and they went home with all the puppies. So everybody was really excited. It's funny because I actually bought the half a pallet with the intention to sell them in my, on the dog page. And I never did. I wound up giving them all away, but that's okay. At least I know it's hard to find the extra large, and that is what you need for size for one of our dogs at adult weight. So I gave them away, and that's okay. Also, last litter, I was able to buy a half a pallet of best of breed blankets. They retail for almost $50. The harnesses retailed for $47 each. I put 2 in each bag. And then the best of breed blankets retail also for about $50. They're the ones that you get at dog shows. They're best of breed. They're a quilt that you can put in the back of your car. And then they roll up like a saddle bedroll, and they tie really cute. And so every person that got one got to tell me, do you want black and burgundy? Do you want brown and turquoise? I love that whole Southwestern vibe. So I really, really love the chocolate with the turquoise. I have a ton of turquoise. I love it. I'm hoping this summer to be able to go out to Arizona. I have not been out to Arizona in, oh my goodness, probably 15 years. I went to Lake Havasu and visited my brother, and that was lots of fun. I usually, do lots of stuff while I'm out there. But I'm kind of on a mission this summer, and I think it's time. I've raised my kids. I did a good job. Sometimes I'm in the doghouse, but that's okay too. We love each other, and that's all good. But I think it's time to do something for Mama. What do you guys think? I know that me trying to get those 3 horses back are futile. So what I did put in place is I've made sure that the state will go and inspect. They have to comply with that, or I will step in and go retrieve the 3 horses back. The reason I haven't made a move right now is because I understand they went to 3 young girls that just have a heart for horses. So I don't have it in my heart because I was a young girl, 5, 6, 7 years old, doodling horses in the Catholic school, and the nun coming over and tapping me in the head with the ruler. Helen, stop doodling horses, but that's what I did, and that's what we all did, So I don't have the heart. The state did assure me that the horses are in good hands, and I would be breaking some hearts if I stepped in to remove them. So it's not about money at this point. I know I could have sold Tristan for probably $18,000 because of just who he is and what he's done. He was really a been there, done that, 16'2", big strapping Palomino. And I taught him flying lead changes and rollbacks and sliding stops and you name it. I'm the kind of rider that I've done, English, I've done dressage in the English world. I've done gaming, gymkhana and barrels and pole bending. I love that too. And I've had horses that specifically did that, really gamey horses, mostly my King Ranch horses. So it's another story for another time, but you don't just use every horse for everything. I did have a couple of all-arounders, really good. But my tip bar image was pretty spectacular. And even though he was bred in Texas and placed 4th at the world, the people I bought him from in Ocala, Florida, Wellington, Florida, it was a doctor and a lawyer, that husband and wife that I bought him from, we bought him from, they had like $40,000 in training on him between Texas and Florida. And so we bought him, and this is the horse in question. So I just know that, winters are hard. He should be in an indoor arena, and I've just really prayed about it and asked God to stay with them. I don't want to break a young girl's heart. That is a terrible, rotten thing to do. And I was never going to sell him. I would have given him to somebody as a gift, as I'm very, very busy with my dogs. But now that I have, things are getting more settled. We, have a lot going on. Sorry. We have a lot going on, but things have really settled down in my world. I wish the horses were still here. I wish I never let her take them. So it's okay. But I've never been a cruel person. And for me, the more I give away, the more God blesses me. I've already given away more in my life than I probably will ever make. It is what it is. I've co-signed loans, and I've given money that maybe I appear like a doormat sometimes. I don't think so. People have to realize I have a life here, and I have my dogs, and I can't just give everything away. We do donate one free puppy a year to a law enforcement agent or a military member, one free puppy a year. And in 2024, we sent one to Vermont to a gentleman that had come back from 3 tours in Iraq. The year before we donated one, the year before we donated one. Now this is 2025. I have a lot of military members that contact me. In fact, an organization kind of like the Wounded Warrior Project recently emailed me and asked if somebody that applied to them, if I would choose that person. And I'm not sure which military member it was, so I can't say yes. I know there is a military guy on my Facebook page that stands out to me a little bit. His wife and I have spoken at length, and I think a pup would be perfect for him. So just know, if I don't get to you this year, I may get to you next year. We do donate one free puppy, all expenses paid, to one military member or injured law enforcement. It's our way of paying back. So it is what it is, and that's what we do, So it doesn't mean we can give them all away, but we try and do at least one free one. So again, tonight's live was talking about the 3 books that I need in my whelping room at all times. Okay, sorry. Small Animal Endocrinology and Reproduction. That has everything about everything. Canine Reproduction and Whelping by Myra Savant Harris. And Puppy Intensive Care by Myra Savant Harris. Now remember, I do everything from vaginal cytology. Okay? When you come on the Facebook page, remember, I always say viewer discretion is advised, because you will see me drawing blood. You may see me, you won't see it directly, but you may see over my shoulder that I'm collecting one of my boys. Years ago, people saw me collect stallions. So what's the difference? Okay. Somebody got to be the bad guy. Somebody got to do it. You will see me draw blood. You will see me draw for progesterone. You will see me do the pregnancy test. I also have an ultrasound machine. So I'm able to ultrasound my females as the gestational age increases, and you get to see your puppies on a big screen TV. So I will tell you that, now at 59 years old, we're kind of feeling like, the winters are long and hard here. I'm not going to lie, we are really tossing around an idea of possibly having a home in a warmer climate. Something you can just fly to at a moment's notice. So that, I think, is going to be around the corner for us. We are looking at properties in Florida. And, I'm looking at Ocala. I'm looking at the Wellington area, possibly Boca, and possibly maybe, West Palm. So, I mean, that's just something to think about for the future. Either way, we sometimes can arrange delivery. I have a guy that has been with us for a long time. You guys remember Scott Bryant. I co-owned 2 or 3 dogs with him, and he, for the most part, has always delivered for us. So, or 95 is right there. It's not hard. So, but that's something to think about in the future. I can tell you, puppy reserve slots are filling up because for this quality of Del Fracasso, we are the only breeder in the United States. Our 2 bloodlines in our main dogs are Del Fracasso and Duranx de Bon. Now, I do have Bruno and Faith. That's Bella Vista, Bossman Bruno's prodigy. Bruno's near and dear to my heart. And Bella Vista's gotta have Faith. Right now, there was 3 contracts on that litter, and things didn't work out. And so I pulled 2 of those contracts, and one decided not to get a puppy at this time, and that's fine because that just opened it up for you. So it all starts with a phone call. You give me a call and let's put a puppy in your hands. We'll be breeding in May. I will be pregnancy testing in June. July, we would be able to ultrasound right on YouTube or the Facebook page, possibly both, and you'll be able to see your puppy in utero. And then, for all you guys that have stuck with me for the last 10 years, I know you love seeing puppies be born, but just know, if you are watching through the YouTube channel, you have to subscribe. I mean, for the most part, you can watch everything without subscribing, but only like 20% of you are subscribed, and it encourages me. I'm not tech savvy, so I'm not a YouTuber, not a YouTuber. I just am somebody that, has really great dogs, and I'm medically inclined, and I have a pretty big following. And so the YouTube channel is about sharing that with you. And so next time we meet, I'd like to talk to you about, I know that not everybody breeds purebreds. And I think it's worth noting, purebred does not mean well-bred. Purebred does not mean well-bred. Just because the parents of your puppy are AKC registered does not mean that that puppy or the parents or any of the dogs around that puppy are well-bred. It comes down to the integrity of the lines. Consistent, generational, genetic testing. Why? Because stuff can skip a generation. We want to make sure we are giving you the absolute best of our ability. And, we have spent many, many, many years weeding out and breeding out anything undesirable in the Mastiff composition. And what most breeders will not tell you is giant breed dogs inherently have health issues. The only way to avoid it is find yourself a kooky little Italian Mastiff breeder that will talk your ear off and educate you for things you probably don't even want to know, like collection and blood draws and semen analysis and ultrasound. You may not be interested in any of that, but most of my clients are. We become a huge family. If you're not on the Facebook page, Bella Vista English Mastiffs, that page is private. And the reason it's private is because I have a lot of high profile people that sort of hide out on that page, and we don't want drama. We're not one of them Mastiff Facebook groups. I am not on any Facebook Mastiff group. I don't care which Mastiff group or dog group you're in. I'm not in it. You will never see me advertise puppies or breeding or anything on Facebook Marketplace. What we do here is exclusive. I am the only one that has Bella Vista English Mastiffs. I own the trademark in English and Italian, plural and singular. And my website, Bella Vista English Mastiffs, I own the .net, the .com, the .info, everything. And if you think that somebody hasn't tried to steal that trademark from me a time or two, they have. But that's okay, because I've owned that trademark for many, many years, and all it takes is a phone call. You need to stop advertising anything to do with Bella Vista, and they usually do. However, 2 weeks ago, Chris was on messing around with his phone, and he says, "Did you tell anybody that they had permission to sell merchandise? Merch?" And I'm like, "No, not since Jennifer stopped doing it. We have ball caps, jackets, but I also had it for my horses, Bella Vista Farm. All my horses had, my Tristan was on my jacket." And so, mostly every horse chick trainer has their, AQHA jacket. I had mine all made with pictures of my horses on it. But about 2 weeks ago, Chris was sitting there messing around on his phone, and he's like, "Did you tell somebody they could sell merch?" And I'm like, "No, the only merch that we have now is you can get a t-shirt, but you have to tell me, and then I have it done for you, or a jacket or a ball cap, which you frequently see me wearing. And also we have coffee cups and tumblers, and we're looking at getting into other, merchandise that I can give away with puppy bags." But he's like, you didn't tell anybody they could sell sweatshirts and t-shirts with Patton's picture or Gage's picture or Kiana's picture? I said, "Absolutely not." And he's like, "They're getting $35 for sweatshirts, $23 for t-shirts, and $18.95 for ball caps." Well, I thought he was joking. Brought me his phone. Sure enough, this website was selling Patton merchandise with Patton, Gage, and Kiana. Guys, listen. You can't do that. That is a garbage move. It is a garbage move. Don't steal. Don't do copyright infringement. Don't steal ideas from people. Put your little thinking caps on. Do something really cool that nobody else is doing. Because I have worked since I was 8, 9 years old with horses and with dogs. I've shown horses. I've done everything. I've had horses in for training. I have been breeding dogs. I also do the little teddy bear clips on, little Giacomo dogs and Lhasa Apsos and Shih Tzus and Poodles. I do the cute little teddy bear cut. So I've bred dogs. I have groomed dogs. I've done it all. Nobody ever handed me anything. So anybody trying to steal my merchandise or sell, making money off my trademark is not okay. I probably have a pretty big law firm that represents us. Probably, but some people have had to learn, wrong way. I try and be humble and thankful and always keep, my relationship with the Lord first and foremost. But I've worked very hard for my trademark and to be where I'm at. Nobody handed me anything. Nobody handed me my house or my property or my Mercedes or my jewelry. I had to haul ass and bust ass for every single thing I ever had. So please keep that into consideration. You can't just go have merchandise made with somebody's trademark. It's no bueno. Okay? No bueno. And especially for me, because, it wasn't just buying my trademark. I had to buy it in English and Italian. I then had to buy, the .com, the .net, the .info, and I have to keep that stuff updated. So it's really not fair to hijack anybody's life's work. And so we're not going to do that. But listen, for the most part, 99% of everybody I interact with is absolutely amazing. And, the people that follow me have followed me for the last 30 years. I have nothing to prove. I'm not going to go out there and toot my horn and pat myself on the back. If you have bought a pup from me, I'm good. If you have, had me train a horse for you, you know that I'm good, and you always get your money's worth. So, but getting a puppy from me or from us starts with a phone call. You've got to call us and do that quick interview. Nobody's going to sell a puppy until they know that you're ready. And so for me, I try not to be invasive or ask too many questions. But this is a giant breed dog. It is a protection dog. And they're very, very chill around children, small children. They are, in fact, are probably one of the easiest going versatile breeds for small children, but they will defend. They will defend your home. And, buy a poodle if you don't want a mastiff. These are not schnauzers. These are not poodles. My mother had a Shih Tzu that was more vicious than all my dogs put together. Oh my God, she had a diamond collar on her neck. This dog was spoiled rotten. Can't even remember her name, Tiny or something. The dog was a beast. My dogs are chill. They're super easy to get along with. Unless you break into my house, probably not a good idea. But at the end of the day, we love having you. Thank you so much for joining us. Wanted to sort of touch base about all the things that I need in my wheelhouse that I can refer, questions to. And so we're sort of trying different microphones now. I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty, excited about having different speakers because I know that I talk a little too loud sometimes, and I'm sorry for that. But if you are tech savvy and I'm not, can you answer a question for me? Who named that a dead cat? I just want to know these things. The thises and the that's. And I just want to know these things. Whose idea was it to name that a dead cat and then tell people to keep it on their lapel or their shirt? I can't even look at it and not think that now. So they are good because they do protect from the wind. I've had them before, but the whole dead cat vibe, I'm not feeling that. So before I go, are there any questions that anybody has? I am getting a lot of calls about Maze breedings and a lot of interesting calls about Maze breedings. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have pups available, but you won't know unless you call me. And if your name is in place on a puppy reserve, then you will definitely get your puppy. So I think next time what we will talk about is what we offer. Maybe we can talk about what we offer or what it's like to own a giant breed dog. Maybe, this time it was the 3 books that I've got to have in my wheelhouse, and that's what the title of this video will be, the 3 books that I have in my wheelhouse. I have many books, but these are my top 3. And also I want to tell you something. If you are breeding any type of dog or cat, you should have a binder. And in the binder, I'll show you, I have page separators, and each of my females has their section. And so these are progesterone receipts that I tape on the page, and it tells me her progesterone number on day 8 or 12 or 14. And then once I get them pregnant, we are able to do reverse progesterone. So without overloading you with too much information, if you are just getting into dog breeding, feel free to get in touch with me. There's times I sit on the phone 2 hours just trying to help somebody navigate whether or not they are ready and set up to get into breeding dogs. I would caution you, don't breed life unless you have people interested. It's just not fair. So here we've been asked, why do you get people to do puppy reserves? Because I believe it is highly irresponsible to bring life into the world and not have arms waiting. I know I can sleep with my head on my pillow at night because when I have my 3 litters of puppies coming, they already have arms waiting. And that gives me peace of mind that I'm doing the right thing because I feel like the shelters are full of poorly bred dogs with health problems and behavior problems. And we'll never get rid of backyard breeders, and the backyard breeders will never get rid of the ethical breeders. And so supporting a humane society does not stop backyard breeding. It encourages that. So I'm not really going to get into my thoughts on that. I do want you to know that every season I go through the whelping room and I donate blankets, milk replacer, wormer, and CalSorb, anything that I am not using to the local shelter. And so, that's something we've always done. But, I look at the expiration dates, and if I'm not going to use it, I donate it. And sometimes I have people contact me that has a litter of kittens in their barn, and they have no milk replacer, and the mom is gone or got killed. And so you would never believe the things I have been called with. I've been called to deliver, foals in the middle of the night, and, waiting 12 hours on that afterbirth and having to do, antibiotics and steroids. So, I've done pretty well everything. I won't steer you wrong. I don't want to talk too much longer because I know that it's getting late. And I just wanted to come on and mention these 3 books that I really hope you'll give it a chance. You may be able to find them secondhand on the internet or Facebook. I think sometimes Amazon actually does the secondhand version. This is new. It does price about $120 plus shipping, but I wanted a new one. And it covers so many different animals. It's not just, it is small animal. It's not horses, but then I have tons of horse books too, but anyway. So moving on, if you would like to call me, I am here. I always answer my phone. My phone number is 207 I'm getting a message from somebody. 207 694 1200. 207 694 1200. I can tell you there's about 8 people waiting. There is going to be 3 litters, so I may have pups available. But you got to get in touch with me so that I know you're ready. And with that, I think I'm going to close this here video. Feel free to call us. Next talk, leave me some suggestions in the comments what you would like to talk about next time. If there's questions you have about breeding or whelping or something you don't feel comfortable asking your vet, if I can help you, I will. Just know I am not a licensed vet and I am trying to protect my trademark. So I don't want to say anything that could get me in trouble or sued. So with that, feel free to reach out. And at the end of the day, we're all in this for the good of these animals. We just have to do the right thing. Right now it's bitter cold. I hope your animals are inside. And they don't ask to come into the world, so we owe it to them. And so if you are not subscribed, please do that, because when it comes time to breed and have our puppies be born here, those it's going to be exclusive for members. So please hit the subscribe button and like this video and the notification button so that you'll see all of our upcoming videos. You'll still be able to see the channel, but it may not have all the content. So please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and we will talk to you in a couple of days with a new subject. All right, you have a great night.